Hello and welcome back to At Ease No Media, where we discuss media related topics at ease. So, today in this video, we will be talking about the theories of mass communication, the models and theories of journalism and mass communication. So, in this video, we will be talking about the direct effect, the limited effect, and the cumulative effect. The theories, the broadly we can divide theories into magic bullet theory, that came in 1938 to 1940. The idea came from Laswell's 1927 book Propaganda Techniques in World War. Receiver is passive. In this theory we can say that receivers are passive. That means they never question. They are actually the cultural dopes. The hypodermic syringe model is the transmission built model. It is rooted in Ivan Pavlov's stimulus response theory of 1930. Then next we have personal influence theory. What is personal influence theory? Personal influence, as the name suggests, it's given by Paul Lazarsfeld, Bernard Berenson, Hazel Goddard. What is it? The personally how people are getting influenced. This theory stresses back to 1940 to 1950, where we can get the opinion leader, and the dissemination of masses is of two stages, is of multiple stages. And the opposition of this theory is the opposition of magic bullet theory is the individual difference theory. It's a selective attitude change theory, the ability to resist by a certain groups dependent on the individual's degree of belonging to the groups. So individual difference theory stated it's the opposition of magic bullet theory, and it's about selective or attitude change theory, the ability to resist by a certain group depending on individual's degree of belonging to the group. Now the consumption of media can be divided into four parts, that is the selective exposure, the selective perception, the selective attention, and the selective retention. That means individual difference theory states that it talks about four broad parts, that is the selective exposure. Media has got some selective exposures, media has got some selective perception, as well as media has got some selective attention, and finally we have selective retention. Next important theory what we will be talking today is about cognitive dissonance theory. Cognitive dissonance theory, or CDT. Cognitive dissonance theory is also a very famous theory given by the F. Festinger coined the term cognitive dissonance. That means it is basically the difference, the you versus you. That means it's the difference is the comfort dissonance, how people comforts themselves. It's the cognitive dissonance theory. Dissonance means opposite, and dissonance is opposite of resonance. That means match, the clash between oneself. That means a smoker might think that a smoker knows smoking is injurious to health, but they will develop another theory on their own favor that no, smoking is injurious to health, we know that, but it doesn't mean. They might state a fact that active smoking and passive smoking is more dangerous than active smoking. They might state this fact that it's better than passive smoking, right? Active smoking is better than passive smoking, so we are smoking. So cognitive dissonance theory of 1957 by L. Festinger, they have given the three concepts, that is the change of action. By cognitive dissonance theory, individual change their action, individual change their perception, and individuals change the perception of action. Then what we have next, we have cultivation theory, where we discuss about the meta-analysis, the longitudinal research. It's the cultivation theory is famous given by George Gardner. George Gardner's cultivation theory. So what we can see that George Gardner, the television audience thought process, it blurs the thought process of television audience. It actually blends. All right. Now it has some traditional distinctions of people view of the world. In cultivation theory, what we can say that they have divided the viewers into many parts: the heavy viewers and the light viewers. The heavy viewers are also known as those who consume media content for more than 4 hours, and the light viewers are those who are consuming content of less than 4 hours. It's actually the mean world syndrome. Resonance, it matches the resonance, that means when people's real life experience match with TV content. It's resonance, that means they are resonating it. All right. So cultivation theory, if we talk about cultivation theory, it's very important from mass communication examinations, any examinations of mass communication. Cultivation theory of 1967 is very important. It is given by George Gardner. All right, George Gardner, the name is very important. And the two particular things, the heavy viewers and the light viewers, these are the keywords. Heavy viewers means those who are watching or consuming content for more than 4 hours, and light viewers are those who are consuming the content for less than 4 hours. So what we can see, they think the world is a very brutal place. This theory was actually developed by media scholars. The cultural indicator project, it actually projects the cultural indicator. So if we talk about the core idea, Gardner argued that television is a dominant cultural force in shaping how people perceive the world. He claimed that repeated exposure to media content, particularly television, subtly cultivates the viewer's belief about social. What they cultivate? They cultivates the viewer's belief about social reality. Now, cultivation means instead of one-time influence, TV, actually this research was based on television. TV gradually shapes the viewer's conceptions of reality over time, particularly regarding violence. It can be crime, it can be gender role, it can be race and more. Heavy viewers, if we consider the difference between heavy viewers and light viewers, the media, they are talking about the media impact, more likely to perceive reality as shown on TV. For example, we can say that they might overestimate crime rates. Heavy viewers might think this world is a brutal place. All right, they might overestimate crime rates and believe the world is more dangerous. It is known as mean world syndrome. And for viewers who are not heavy viewers, who are not categorized as light, those who are categorized as light viewer are less influenced by TV content. Their perceptions are closer to actual statistical realistic. All right. Now, if we take example of mean world syndrome, we can say a heavy viewer might think the world is full of danger and crime, not because of personal experience, but because TV news and dramas over-represent violence. This reflects a cultivated worldwide, not a factual one. Now we will be moving on to the next part of which is the social learning theory. Social learning theory. All right. The moment we are talking about social learning theory, as you can see, social learning theory is given by Albert Bandura. Social learning theory came in the year 1963. So social learning theory by 1963, the famous book is known as social learning theory. It came in 1977. Social learning theory, also known as social cognitive theory. So the other name of social learning theory is social cognitive theory, and it was developed by Albert Bandura in 1963. It emphasizes that people learn behavior by observing others, particularly through modeling, imitation and reinforcement rather than through direct experience alone. The core assumptions, we can say that the learning is social. People can learn by observing others' behavior and the consequence of those behavior, right? How people learn? The cognitive process like attention, retention and motivations are essential in learning. So we need this cognition effect like attention, retention and motivation. These are the main part of learning. Now reinforcement is not always necessary for learning, right? Because watching someone else be rewarded or punished is often enough. We can understand, we can learn from others' mistake, right? So the key concept of this is the modeling, the learning through watching the behavior of a model. Example, the parents, the teacher. That means social learning theory, it is the learning from the personal factors, from the environmental factors, right? So next, what we will be discussing about agenda setting theory. All right, agenda setting theory. The term agenda means you are setting an objective. Agenda setting is came in 1972 by Maxwell Malcolm and Donald Shaw, and the first it was by Walter Lippmann. It was the theory of public opinion, where the agenda setting magazine, the public opinion quarterly, it came. What we can see, the core idea of agenda setting theory is that the media doesn't tell us what to think, but it tells us what to think about. Very vital and important line, right? They are saying that the media doesn't tell us what to think, but it tells us what to think about. This means that mass media influence the public agenda by choosing which issue to highlight, making some topics more prominent in public consciousness than other. The origin was first introduced in 1973. It was in the paper the Malcolm's M.E. and Shaw D.L. 1972. The study conducted during the 1968 US presidential election and examining how voters in Chapel Hill, North California were influenced by news coverage. It found a strong correlation between media emphasis and voters' perceptions of key election issues. Now, if we talk about agenda setting, the media's power to focus attention to certain issues, the shaping public discourse, and the salience transfer, the process of transferring the importance of an issue from the media to public. The first level, they are having different levels of agenda setting. The first level agenda, media influence what people think about, and the second level agenda is the media influence how people think about an issue by emphasizing specific aspect of attribution. So if we talk about the real world example, if the media covers inflation or unemployment extensively, the public may begin to believe they are the most possessing national issue, even if other issues, example education or climate change, are more severe. So, in choosing and displaying news, editors, newsroom staff, and broadcasters play a significant role in shaping political reality. So, this was it with today's lecture. Today we discuss about the basic theories of mass communication. Tomorrow we will continue with the theory part. Thank you for connecting at Ease No Media, where we discuss media related topics at ease.